House Ways and Means today releasing redacted IRS whistleblower transcripts from the Hunter Biden tax investigation, revealing President Biden's IRS and Justice Department interfered in the probe. Let's welcome Congressman Greg Steube. He's on the committee that released that testimony. Congressman, thanks for being on with us. So this is related to the charges that Hunter Biden pleaded guilty to, the tax charges. He's pled guilty. But what the whistleblower is saying is the whole investigation was slow-walked, stalled. What are you learning about how the Justice Department conducted this?
Yeah, anybody that reads the whistleblower's testimony should be outraged at the highest levels of the IRS and the DOJ that this type of behavior was done to protect Hunter Biden, the Biden family. Subpoenas weren't issued, search warrants weren't allowed to happen. This individual who was a whistleblower was removed from the team. He'd been on the IRS Criminal Investigations Division for like 14 years, and they slow-walked it so that certain crimes, felonies, the statute of limitations told so Hunter couldn't be charged with that. They did things that completely impeded the investigation, not following normal procedure, and you had people at the highest levels of the DOJ that were orchestrating this.
So they slow-walked it enough that a felony charge is precluded. They had to go to a lower charge. That's very interesting. That sounds like a crawl to me, not a slow walk. But I want to ask you about this. Fox Business's Hillary Vaughn pressed Democrats on Capitol Hill on the Hunter Biden plea deal and what it means for President Biden. Listen to what they had to say.
Can President Biden effectively campaign on Democratic policies like catching tax cheats, cracking down on gun access when his son pled guilty to those things?
President Biden has done a tremendous job, and I'm looking forward to continuing to support him.
Is President Biden the strongest candidate for Democrats in 2024 in light of his son Hunter's guilty plea? Do you think it hurts Democrats in 2024?
It's his son. It's not Joe Biden. It's his son.
Congressman, what I'm most curious about is, will this plea deal get in the way of other House investigations of Hunter Biden and where that money came from that he failed to pay taxes on?
Yeah, it will absolutely not get in the way of what the Ways and Means Committee is going to continue to do and investigate the IRS side of this and the tax side of this. You know, there was $2.2 million of taxes that he should have paid on some of these foreign payments that he didn't pay. There was evidence that was thwarted through this investigation of over 5 years where that 10% for the big guy, they wanted to investigate that, interview witnesses, and the DOJ shut down the investigator, the whistleblower, who was the head of the team of the investigation. So we're not done here. There's a lot of witnesses that came out during this testimony that I think the committee should call. And you have the Ways and Means Committee, the Oversight Committee, and the Judiciary Committee and the Weaponization Committee that all have a piece of this that we can continue this investigation.
I want to shift gears to the economy and get your take on this. The White House is ripping into Republicans, accusing them of being the enemy of the middle class. White House Deputy Secretary Andrew Bates writing in a memo. The House GOP is tripling down on a bold policy message, telling the American middle class to go to hell. Now, Congressman, the economy is actually my area, all right? And so I'm looking at the debate we've had in this country for a period of several years now. What I've heard from Republicans is reduce spending to get inflation down. That seems to me like the thing that would most help the middle class. Your reaction to that statement?
Yeah, and everything that we've done to cut taxes when we had the majority helps the middle class. We are in the inflationary environment that we are in right now because of complete Democratic control the last 2 years in spending trillions upon trillions of dollars. When I first got elected to Congress 5 years ago, the deficit was $21 trillion. It's now $31 trillion because of Democrat spending. That's what's caused the inflation that we're in and the policies that the Democrats had in place. And that's what we're having to deal with now.
Well, obviously, the economy is going to be a huge issue in 2024. Democrats are looking ahead to 2024. They're urging Joe Manchin not to run for president, but the senator isn't giving a straight answer on whether he will do that. Fox News asked him, listen to this.
There's been a lot of talk recently about the possibility of you running for president. What do you make of that? Is that just a lot of drama?
No, the bottom line is that everyone's trying to find this sensible, reasonable middle, and both the Democrat and Republican Party have gone to extremes. If we can have a movement that brings people back, showing there's a tremendous support for the centrist middle where you make common sense decisions, where the country could be more comfortable than what they are now, being forced to pick a side to the extremes. That's all, just a movement.
Congressman, this looks like one of those elections where you might end up getting a third-party independent candidate. Could be a guy like Senator Manchin. How would that affect the race in your view?
Well, it certainly would take votes away from Democrats, which is why Democrats are freaking out that if he did run as an independent, he would draw some of those, if there's any left of moderate Democrats, he would draw some of those moderate Democrats to his side. And Trump obviously has, and the Republican has an obvious, pretty solid base there. So Democrats, I'm sure, are worried about that. And what was interesting in his answer, he certainly didn't deny it and gave a long explanation of his argument as to why somebody that would fill that candidate's spot could be something that would be on the ticket.
We covered a lot of ground there, Congressman. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Yeah, anytime. Good to see you.